Unbelievable. Knocked off again. Well, guess I get there. Ribs. Well, 1, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12, 13. With this rib. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This left rib does not like these. Welcome back. Sorry I got cut off. Ooh. Awesome. Oh. I bruised this rib 2 days ago. It's making doing the weights this morning very interesting. Whew. Not that I haven't had bruised ribs before. If you've ever done any boxing, you know what bruised ribs are like. Especially the day after. I mean, right after the bout, right after the fight, I don't care where you got hit, you're pretty much numb. But the next day, especially if you took some real good body shots, some good rib shots, oh, just breathing hurts. So if you ever had a bruised rib, you'll know what I mean. Whew, who's back with us? Anyhow. Hey, Carolyn. Puddins. Puddin smacker. Puddin smacker. That's good. I like that. Kind of making me laugh today. Whew. Anyhow, I just did 50 of my more weights. Gonna get a few more done with the kettlebell here in a minute. Well, somebody's popping up on Messenger. That keeps on throwing me off stuff. I can't see who it is. Well, they'll just have to wait, you guys. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. Stretch. After those 50 reps, I want to stretch my shoulder out a minute here. Oh, that's good. Now, when you're doing a stretch like this, you really need to hold the stretch for at least 30 seconds. minimum. The main reason is fairly simple. At the end of your muscle, you have something called the Golgi tendon organ, the GTO. This organ, this little, it's like a spring-like device almost. You need to hold your stretch for at least 30 seconds to allow the auto inhibition to happen within the GTO. And that way it will actually release and you can get the effects of the stretch, the relaxation of the muscle, but only after at least 30 seconds. Before that, and if you ever see somebody holding a stretch for 10 seconds, and I see it all the time, I see runners go out there and try to do a calf stretch and hold it for 10, 15 seconds. And I don't say anything most of the time, but I'm thinking to myself, that's a waste of time. That is ineffective. And again, shake it out after you do that stretch. If any of you are like me and have bursitis in your shoulders, and I doubt you do, most of you are probably about half my age, I'm guessing, or younger. But keeping a movement going, especially if you've got issues with lower back pain, if you're one of the 1 out of 3 Americans, including me, that suffers lower back pain, if you're one of those people, there was a gentleman I was speaking with on it was either yesterday or day before here on YouNow. His dad suffers really bad lower back pain, but he's also overweight, and that's one thing that can really exacerbate lower back pain. The heavier you get, you're putting all that weight on the load-bearing joints in your hips, for one thing, but also on all of the vertebrae in your spine. And if on top of that you're always sitting, right, then you're pushing yourself into sway back. The same thing that an old nag has, a horse, you see that sway back. In human beings, it's called lordosis, and it pushes the lumbar spine forward towards your stomach. Okay, so that, and of course, it'll also displace your hips and do nasty things to your coccyx. Just sitting for long periods of time, period, are not good. The human body isn't built for it, to be honest. So sitting for more than 30 minutes at a time on the job, I highly recommend, and I tell everybody this, especially if I'm doing anything at a corporate event, 30, 60 minutes tops. Get up and stretch. Get up and move. Take your morning break to go walk around the building. Take your lunch to go do a workout, even if it's just a brisk 30-minute walk around your building. All right, I used to go do laps around my building in the business park I was in. Take the time when you have it to get up and move. If you're in a position where you absolutely have to sit for a long period of time, figure out a way, some way, that you can alleviate the issues with the lower back problem. Talk to a physical therapist. Talk with your doctor. Look for online resources. Bottom line is, if you sit too much, eventually it's going to cause issues with your lower back. That's why over 100 million Americans right now suffer some form of back pain. Most of it lower back. Same with me. I know. When I was in computer training for 25 years, I sat around pretty much all day long, either in my office working on the computer, helping students in a classroom, driving out to a meeting, sitting in a meeting with a client. Wherever I was sitting, either working on a computer or talking about working on computers. So I spent 25 years doing that and then getting very heavy and doing very bad things to my lower back. So now I'm pretty much your health evangelist to say, get up. You sit for a living, or you sit on the job all the time. Get up every 30, 60 minutes. Do your lower back a favor. Save it before it gets out of control. Because eventually it can. You can literally crush your discs, you can crush your vertebrae, you can pinch nerves, or you can get, like I have, osteoarthritis with bone spurs from L1 through S5. I did not do myself any favors sitting around for as many years as I did. I made a lot of money. I made a lot of people trained in computers. I mean, yes, I was a computer industry icon, but almost to the death of me. Almost to the point where if I hadn't made the changes I made, I would have probably bit it by now. I would have probably had a heart attack or stroke. sometime in the last 5, 10 years. Seriously. Because my BMI was 38. I was 252 pounds. I was in my 31st year of smoking cigarettes, a pack a day, right? BMI 38, 252 pounds, smoking cigarettes, get hit with diabetes, and the doc says, you better make some changes, or, they're going to cut off some toes and fingers, and you're going to go blind and eventually die. Yeah, I didn't like those. I didn't like that one little bit. So, and I don't think any of you would like that either. Anyhow, let me get off my soapbox. Anybody have a question? See who's joined us. Lechley. Mango. Hey, going on, Mango? Emos. The anarchist is here. Cool. Did you bring your handbook? Reference. Somebody saying something. Talk me up here. I want to hear a question. Is that Ricardo? Hey, Ricky. Lucy, I'm home. Yeah, I Love Lucy reference. All right, you guys, here's a fun challenge. All right. This year, I'm going to be the exact same age as the year I was born. Can you figure that one out? Anybody? Come on. I'll say it again. This year, in 2018, I'm going to be the exact same age as the year I was born. Last 2 digits, obviously. See if you can figure that one out. That'll be a toughie. Unless, of course, you read my book. If you read my book or you know my book, then you will probably be able to figure it out pretty easy. Anyhow, hit me up with some questions, you guys. They don't have to be on personal training. It doesn't have to be on health coaching. I don't care what your questions are. Hit me up with pretty much any question on any topic. I'm down. Listen better. Hey, Mohab. Seriously, you guys. Any questions you may have, that's the category. Answer questions, that's what I will do. They can be on any topic you like. In fact, if you want to pick, if you pick a number 1 through 80, I'll pick one. I got a table of contents in my book, 80 chapters in here. So if somebody number 1 through 80, I'll just go look at whatever number that chapter is in here. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah. You guys really can't see them from there, I don't think. But if you go on Amazon, you can pull this up easy enough. The table of contents. I got 80 chapters in this book. So you pick a number 1 through 80 or go look up the chapters on Amazon. Pick a number. We can talk about it. And it's not all about health. Now, health of the planet, health of the humans, health of the animals, health of the life on it, mental health, balance, all those issues are covered. That book was designed to help humans. Right? And it has. I'm very lucky. You can even read some of the reviews on Amazon. Some of the people have quit smoking. Some of the folks have lost weight. Some people have had some success, with the book as far as utilizing it to help make themselves better. So, book number 2 coming out hopefully late this year. That's more for the dogs and the cats. But it's a dog book. So for me, that's the second biggest passion I have besides health. Keeping the heart beating. Not just mine, but I like to keep yours beating too. But beyond health, I'm also concerned about the domestic dog and our responsibilities for the domestic dog and how we are shirking them as a nation and just as a humanity. Don't even start me on the numbers because they're bad and they make me angry every time I talk about them. There are too many dogs sitting in shelters right now, and every single day we're killing tens of thousands of them. They say euthanize. That's bullshit. They're murdering dogs every day that have been abandoned in shelters because nobody goes and gets them out and rescues them. And in the meantime, we got puppy mills just pumping them out left and right, and breeders and puppy stores and dog stores, and it's insane. If you get me going on this, I will literally, steam will come out my ears. Look at it like this. We took a perfectly good gray wolf around about 50,000 years ago. Took a perfectly good gray wolf and turned it into everything from a 3.5-pound teacup chihuahua to a 150-pound mastiff. And they're all basically the same thing. The mentality and intellectual ability of about a 2-year-old child. All of them. I don't care how big it is. I don't care how small it is. My 130-pound Great Dane would much rather always be inside sitting with me on the couch than outside chained to anything. My Great Danes were never chained to anything, by the way. My dogs have never been chained to anything. I don't believe in chaining dogs to anything, anywhere, anytime. If you're going to have a dog, that's the same as having a child, and you better treat them with that level of caring and respect. Otherwise, do not get a pet. It's a 20-year commitment. That's why every year, right before Christmas, you'll see me I was on YouNow right before, 2 weeks before Christmas, and I was railing about it. Do not give puppies and kittens as Christmas presents. That's just like handing somebody a 2-year-old child. Here's a responsibility for you to take care of for the next 15, 20 years. Now, half the time they're not ready for it. They don't want to do it. That's why dogs and puppies and kittens and cats get returned to shelters and dropped off at shelters and thrown in backyards and just abandoned out of cars. I mean, I posted a video on the Pushing Double Nickels Facebook page not too long ago. This car was busted in Florida by a car behind it with a video shoving a dog out the back door and driving away. It happens all the time. It drives me crazy, absolutely crazy. Dogs, domestic dogs, that's our responsibility. We did that. A couple 100 years ago, 300, 400 years ago, there were some breeds, distinct breeds, but nothing like we have now. We have taken selective breeding to the God level, literally. I mean, now we have, like I said, you have all these different breeds and sizes and types of dogs, but they're all a 2-year-old child mentally. And every single dog that comes out as a puppy has the exact same potential. Mind you, inbreeding and genetic disturbances can create an aggressive dog from birth. That is a mental disorder. But there's no such thing as a dog that's born naturally aggressive. That doesn't happen. The bad names that you have for pit bulls and Rotties and Dobies and the larger, bigger breed dogs, most of that is BS. In fact, the pit bull used to be called the nanny dog. Oh yeah, the nanny dog, because they are so good around children. Now, 50 years worth of inbreeding, and you've got a lot of inbreeding going on with puppy mills, a lot, and dog fighting rings with pit bulls especially, a lot of inbreeding. So a lot of dogs are being born not quite right. And they like it that way, especially the breeders that are breeding them for the fighters. We need to shut down all the puppy mills. We need to close down all of the fighting rings. We need to make sure that every single dog that can be adopted finds a good home. There's absolutely no reason why we have thousands of dogs being killed every single day in shelters. The kill shelter in your area, find out. Usually they've got about a week from when they get taken in. Whether they got lost from their house from 4th of July fireworks and panicked and ran, right? Whether they were abandoned, whether they were just escaped from a backyard that they were abandoned in. I mean, whatever the reason is, they wind up in these shelters. They wind up there, right? The biggest week of the year is 4th of July. I mean, that night and the following week, the shelters are stuffed because they panic at fireworks. I have 2 that panic at fireworks. I have to give them meds, right? Same thing happens New Year's. But the bottom line is the shelters fill up, and all year long, there are dogs in shelters. There's some sitting there right now of every size, almost every breed. I had somebody recently ask me on here when I was talking about dogs, what's the best breed? I'll tell you right now, the best dog is a shelter dog. Simple. Doesn't matter the size, doesn't matter the breed. They care. And they know you do. Like these guys. This was a shelter dog. This was an abandoned dog. He was abandoned in an apartment complex and left to starve. Left in an apartment complex to starve. Zachary, hang on. Make sure you guys take a good look at Zach. Zachary is about 11 pounds now. But when I rescued him, and I literally rescued him, he was about 6 pounds. He was so weak, he couldn't even lift his leg to pee. He peed on himself. It took about a week of me having to clean him every time I took him out until he was finally strong enough to pee on his own. Right? Now, Zeke got taken to a shelter, adopted, and taken back to that shelter. Can you imagine how he felt? When he came to me, and this was, it'll be 3 summers ago this summer, he was so scared he couldn't even walk on a leash. He couldn't look at his own shadow. In fact, the very first thing he did when he came into my house was jumped up on the bed and peed and pooed right there. Because nobody ever trained him. He didn't know. He'd never been housebroken. You have to understand that a lot of dogs that wind up in the shelters are still puppies. They may only be 6 to 12 months old. Any dog that's under 24 months old is still a puppy. So you may see a dog that's, 12 or even 18 months old or even 24 months old. They're still a puppy. They look like an adult dog. And yeah, they'll look like they're fully grown and look like an adult dog, but they're puppies. And we're killing puppies all the time. All the time. And Zoe, wherever Zoe wound up, Zoe was a shelter dog as well. I got her at the pound. Oh, there she is in her. This is Zoe's private place where she has a basket in the back and she can come in here and she's got a water bowl and, huh, sweetie? Huh, daddy's girl. Yes, she was an absolute wreck. She was a complete and total wreck when she came to me. So yeah, for me, and every animal that I've had, cats and dogs, for the last, almost 40 years, every animal that I've had has been either an adoption or a rescue. You will not catch me buying a dog. Um, so just letting you know, I'm fully convinced that we humans, we are responsible for all the dogs, every single last one of them, everywhere, all the domestic dogs. That's our responsibility. We took a perfectly good gray wolf, turned it into a freaking couch potato. And I guarantee you that 95% of all the dogs out there, if they were stuck in the wild and had to survive, they wouldn't survive a night. I guarantee none of my 3 would be able to survive out in the wild for a night. So we did that. That's humans intervention, humans playing God with selective breeding and taking all different kinds of dogs, turning it into different, versions. And we're doing the same thing still. There's wild cat that's large and a big breed. I think it's a cross between a serval. Guarantee you, if it walks, swims, flies, crawls, human beings will find a way to screw with it. Guarantee you. See the commercial right now for you take things for your heart, you take things for your stomach, you should take something for your brain. We discovered it in fish. What do you mean you discovered it? You mean you took a living organism, you tore it apart, and you reverse engineered it to see what was inside, is what you're saying. Discovered. BS. That's like telling me that, they keep monkeys in lab experiments on rats, because they're discovering things. Now, I fully approve of research, but I do not approve of abusing animals in the name of research. Of any, just my personal. If you guys have an opinion on that, I'd love to hear it. But I would personally like to see every single monkey, every single rat, every single animal that is being used for any kind of stupid lab research released. I mean, that's I mean, the word inhumane doesn't even cover at this point. I mean, I knew what some of these universities and some of these research facilities are doing, and I have researched some of it. I've blogged and written a few articles about it. It's horrible. It is just horrible, the thought. And remember, everything that's a mammal, from your bat to your mouse to your elephant to your whales to your, if it's a mammal, if it has a limbic system, it's a mammal, then it has feelings, emotions, memory. Even goldfish has a memory. But mammals, and that includes us humans, we have a limbic system, that hippocampus and the different parts of our brain combined create the limbic system. But that is the seat of emotion. That is where feelings exist. And I can assure you, my dogs, they have feelings. I mean, I've been with dogs my entire life. My first dog was a German Shepherd. My second dog was a teacup Chihuahua. And I've had every size and breed in between ever since. And I can tell you, they all have feelings. All have emotions. I've seen dogs happy, depressed, sad, excited. There's only one emotion that I do not find in dogs, any dog that I've ever known, mine or anyone else. One emotion that is strictly a human emotion that I can't find. I've never seen displayed from a dog. One. You guys want to guess what that one emotion is? I'd love to see if anybody has any ideas. What emotion do you think humans have and display that you never see in a dog or a cat, or for that fact, any animal? I've worked on the farm. I never saw this emotion in any animal I've ever interacted with. And I've interacted with dogs the most. I love dogs. I'm writing a dog book. By the end of this year, you can buy my book. Um, so I dare you, anybody, try and guess what the one emotion is. I'm convinced that humans have a human emotion that none of the animals share. Especially, I've never seen it in a dog, any dog. I've seen everything. I've seen them get mad, sad, glad, happy, depressed, excited, elated. I mean, I've seen Zoe so excited about, and happy and giddy is the word, that she literally does donuts, running around out in the grass. And I've seen dogs so sad that tears will come out of their eyes. All dogs cry, all of them. Not just happy, sad tears, but happy tears too. Right? I've seen that. So all the feelings we have except one. Anybody want to guess? I'd be curious. Anybody? Hey, Evangelos, how you doing? Imani, Amanda, how you guys doing today? Well, hopefully you've learned a little something today. I'm going to get mulling. I've got a little bit of weights to finish, but I'm also getting hungry and I'm starving, so I'm going to make myself chow. I haven't decided what I'm going to have yet, but it sounds good? Steak and eggs. I've got some leftover steak in there, and I'm going to make some eggs with it. And I think I'm going to chop up some spinach and put it in with some scrambled eggs. Talk about an awesome way to use spinach. Guarantee you want to get a little brain power going. Seriously, you want to kick up your brain energy. Just the one, losing weight will get your brain going, but two, just include more spinach in your diet. And you can do anything with spinach. Spinach mixes good with egg salad. Spinach is good with tuna salad. You could spinach in soup. You can put spinach in almost anything, literally. I mean, if you chopped it up real fine, you could even put it in oatmeal. I mean, there's not a flavor to spinach, but you can put it in almost anything. I put it in my smoothies almost daily. All right, but going through spinach and having putting spinach, just more spinach in your diet, overall is going to help brain function, you guys. I appreciate taking the time to listen to me at you, especially on dogs and health, my two main topics. If you haven't fanned me up, I appreciate it. In the meantime, like I said, if you sit all the time, every 30 minutes, get up and stretch. Seriously, save your lower back. And the younger that you start doing this, the better. The sooner you start doing it, the better. If you start doing it even before your back's hurting, even better. But remember, 1 out of 3 of us, 100 million Americans, have back pain. So I know I'm not alone here. Right? Yeah, I got back pain too, but it ain't going to stop me. Nothing stops me. But then again, I hope nothing stops you either. If you need any help quitting smoking, remember, that's my give back for free. I will help anybody quit the cigarettes when they're ready. If they're ready, I will help you quit the cigarettes now. You just reach out to me on any of my social links and I'll help you get rid of the cigarettes. There's no way you can be a healthy person. No way if you still smoke cigarettes. I wish to God somebody would have kind of hammered this into my head when I was still smoking. Because and yeah, I know how exactly how stubborn you feel when somebody says you got to quit smoking. But I'm not saying you have to quit smoking. I'm just telling you if you want to be healthy, if you want to get your health in order, then yeah, get rid of the cigarettes. I'm not saying get rid of the natural stuff. You know, I'm a firm supporter in the use of cannabis, but tobacco, no. That I guarantee you is not good for you. No matter how you use it, I don't care if you even vape. Getting the nicotine out of your body, the sooner the better, is going to be best for your health overall. I guarantee you. So, like I say, get up and move if you sit too much. If you're too sedentary, long term, it's going to come back to haunt you. Lower back issues, as well as sedentarism, helps create obesity. And take it from a guy who used to be obese. I know. In the meantime, fan me up if you haven't. I plan to be back on as much as I can. Like I said, my give back on YouNow this year is to help as many people get better as possible. And it doesn't matter how. You know, getting rid of cigarettes, getting rid of weight, mental imbalance, it doesn't matter. Emotional disturbances, we will talk about all of them. Like I say, I've helped everyone from someone who's anorexic to someone who's suffering amnesia, people who need to gain weight, people who are looking to put on muscle. I helped advise an athlete who's preparing for mountain climbing. So it's been very productive so far on YouNow this year. I plan on making it as productive as possible. All the videos are being saved to YouTube and on Tumblr. So anybody wants to go back and review, you're more than welcome. And like I say, reach out to me if I can help. If you want to hire me as your personal trainer, I'm worth every penny. It's personaltrainingwithbrad.com. That's personaltrainingwithbrad.com. And I'll follow up and you and I can Skype and we can work on getting you healthy and you don't even have to leave your house. How's that for convenient? In the meantime, you guys, appreciate you listening. If there's anything I can do when I'm not online, feel free to reach out to me on any of my social links. I'd love to hear from you. You guys have a great day in the meantime. All right. Take care now.